Do you have a stocks and shares ISA? How would you feel if someone came in and took away nearly half of it? Unfortunately, if you're what is considered as wealthy, that's precisely what might happen when you die. Despite being tax efficient in so many other ways, ISAs are potentially subject to inheritance tax when you die. So unless you pass it to a spouse on your death, those who inherit your ISA could be landed with a 40% inheritance tax bill. Unfortunately, many investors unwittingly fall into this trap. But for experienced investors, there's a way you can pass your ISA onto your loved ones inheritance tax free. And no, you don't have to sell your investments and give the proceeds away. Let me explain. Since 2013, you've been able to invest in AIM stocks through your ISA. Many AIM stocks qualify for something called business relief. This was originally designed to allow family businesses to be passed on through the generations inheritance tax free. Over time, it's been extended, so now many AIM and unlisted businesses enjoy this perk. What could this mean for you? Well, if your ISA is invested in qualifying AIM stocks, you can pass it on to your loved ones free of inheritance tax. That's provided you hold the shares for at least 2 years and still hold them on your death. What's more, this applies whether your ISA is worth £10,000 or £1 million. There are no limits. If your circumstances change and you want or need some of that money, it's yours. You can sell investments and withdraw your funds, bearing in mind the amount you withdraw would no longer be inheritance tax free, and the value of your ISA will depend on performance. Also, AIM shares are less liquid than ordinary shares, so they will usually take longer to sell. There's a catch. Not all AIM shares qualify. So how do you know which do? How could you select the right shares? The solution could be simple. You could transfer your ISA, or part of it, into a ready-made, professionally managed AIM inheritance tax ISA portfolio. When you do, you continue benefiting from the standard ISA tax benefits, tax-free growth, and no further tax on income. Then, after 2 years, the inheritance tax exemption should kick in. So what are the risks? Like all stocks and shares ISAs, AIM portfolios could fall as well as rise in value, so you could get back less than you invest. Your capital is at risk. An AIM ISA portfolio may also be more risky and less diversified than a conventional, well-diversified stocks and shares ISA portfolio. The companies you invest in may be smaller, newer, or subject to less stringent checks and regulations than a listed business. The shares also tend to be more volatile. And because AIM shares are much less liquid than those listed on the main London Stock Exchange, it will usually take longer to liquidate your portfolio. So AIM ISA portfolios are not for everyone. The availability of business relief will require portfolio companies to maintain their qualifying status. Should they lose it, inheritance tax relief would be lost too. That said, for those comfortable with investing and the risks, AIM ISA portfolios could be an option for experienced investors to pass their ISAs on to their families. Unlike many other forms of inheritance tax planning, you retain control of the investments. If you want to draw an income from them, you can, or if you ever need to cash them in completely, you can do that also. Please remember, tax rules can change and tax benefits depend on your circumstances. If you're unsure, you should seek advice.